Okay, welcome everyone to our webinar today, specifically focusing on communicating with all patients in the ambulance setting where there's a language barrier present. So now, my name is Louise Savari, and I am the Sales Operations Manager at Care to Translate. And we also have Maja Magnusson with us today, and she is our CEO. And on the agenda today, we're going to do a brief introduction of what Care to Translate is and a demo so that you can see how it works and how easy it is to use as well. We will share customer cases and success stories and also open up for questions and answers as well. So Care to Translate, what is it? It is a medical translator for healthcare professionals and patients. And why is this important? It's because we have learned in the ambulance setting that arranging for a translator isn't always that conducive. So before I move on, I just wanted to get your feedback and ask you, how are you currently dealing with translation during the ambulance ride? How are you getting interpreters, or are you? So feel free to just share with us before I move on in the presentation and just tell us about your experience. It is a challenge, and the time is of essence, and patients are in the ambulance, and to try to arrange for interpreters, it could be nearly impossible. So it really brings us joy to talk about our translation app, Care to Translate, where phrases that you are using before, during, and after the ambulance visit are already translated for you in 45 languages. So we really hope that we will be able to fill this hole in this specific area when it comes to language barriers. We have verified native speakers with medical expertise, making sure that the phrases are correct. And that's also something that's important because we're talking about, medical terminology. We want to make sure it's as accurate as possible. We have about 3,500 phrases in the library that are already in there in the specific setting that you can choose from. And of course, you can also add your own. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. These phrases also, not only have they been verified, but also when it comes to the quality, the context, and the culture, that has also been taken into consideration as far as the translation. I think that's very important as well. It can be used, this translation app, Care to Translate, on any device 24/7 in the 45 languages, as mentioned. And what also is really important here is that no patient or personal data is saved, not on our platform and not in the cloud. So imagine being able to take the patient through the entire patient journey with this translation app that we have. From the beginning to the stressful situation when they're actually in the ambulance to the very end. And that's something that you can do with our app. So being able to prepare and calm the patient when sitting in an ambulance in 45 languages. Let's look at how that conversation could look like. I wanted to share this here with you. Here's an initial examination, the transport, and again, as we talked about, the end. So for example, hello, my name is, I am your ambulance paramedic. We are going to this hospital. Don't worry, we will monitor your condition. A patient is already stressed out being in the ambulance and now also having difficulties understanding English. And knowing what's going on is bringing a tremendous amount of comfort. And that's what we hope that Care to Translate can do with your patients who may not understand English so well. And you can talk about tests and examinations that are done on site, ECG, ultrasound, and blood work, and also inform about treatments on site. So medication, intubation, support color, corrections, for example, an abrupt shoulder. And here you see something as well. It says customize care to translate based on your needs. And that's exactly what it is. You can actually use care to translate within the first day. And why that is because we have 3,500 phrases already in the library, specifically to your needs. So if you work in, for example, the ambulance setting, we have phrases that have been used and are already available at your fingertips. Now you can also add your own phrases and things that you feel are really important in your setting. And that's not a problem either. And you can add as many as possible. There's no limit to that. But a lot of them, we've already done the work for you. And then you can actually share with your entire department as well, or station. So you can share these lists, which actually brings consistent communication because you almost make sure everybody's asking the same questions. And right now we're going to leave it for you to see a demo here. So we'll have Maja Magnusson go over how the app works, so you have a better idea of that. So yeah, feel free, Maja, to share with everybody.
Thank you, Louise. And let's see, I'm going to share my web browser with you. As Louise said, you can use the app on your phone, on your tablet, and also on a computer. So this is how I will show it to you today. And using it within the ambulance, as Louise said, you can get started with templates that are ready for you. The templates are shown as these blue icons, and these situations are based on different needs that you might have throughout the patient journey. So if it is to just have a first contact maybe with the patient, you can open up this dialogue or this playlist, as we say, and get a set of phrases that might be good to use when informing the patient or asking the patient about certain things or instructing the patient. So each playlist describes a situation that might be helpful in your communication. I'm gonna try to open up another part of the app and try to use
Hola.
Hola.
Mi nombre es.
So now I can say hello, my name is Maja, I am paramedic.
Soy paramédico.
And continue with information about where we're going. Really important also to calm the patient. Don't worry, we will monitor your condition. And maybe also explain that you are safe, you are strapped in, and you will not fall off, for example, the stretcher.
Está atado y no se caerá de la camilla.
And as you can see, we have a small icon showing that there is also an image support available for this phrase. So clicking on that symbol will give me the image, and I can show it to the patient to kind of improve my verbal communication with this visual communication. So depending on how you want to use the app, what kind of communication needs you have, you can use our ready-made templates or you can build your own. Of course, you can, outside of these ready-made playlists, you can always access the entire library. We have a search function that enables you to search for keywords or phrases, or maybe let's say you want to identify the pain scale for the patient. You usually ask in a scale about from 0 to 10, how much pain do you have? So I can just simply enter 0 to 10 and it will instantly find the phrase that I'm looking for, and I can play the translation from here as well. If my patient speaks a different language, I simply go and change the language. So I go in and I can either scroll through the list or I can select the language. And we also have different kind of dialects depending on where you are in the world and what kind of maybe Spanish you want to use. You can see that we have the Latin American and also the Spain Spanish available. And this is what I wanted to show you about the app. And let's continue to the presentation. and continue also with some success stories from other customers that are using us within ambulance services. And 1 second, please. Right, so let's see, we are already past the demo, and now I just also want to highlight where is the app actually used in the world. So far the app has been downloaded by over 700,000 people worldwide, and that's a milestone that we are incredibly proud of. And just this year, we have gained new users in over 120 countries. So that's also reflecting the growing need for effective communication in healthcare. And to this date, the app has helped facilitate 7.3 million translations, so helping overcoming language barriers over 7 million times globally. The Care to Translate app is used in many medical fields, such as emergency rooms, diagnostics, and hospital wards. And we can see there's a particular growing interest in emergency services. And maybe that's because it's a bit less common to be able to access interpreter services in these situations. And this is often results in maybe patients being unnecessarily brought to the emergency room, or the complete opposite, critical treatments being delayed. And Care to Translate helps to overcome these language barriers and improve the patient care. And here are some of the organizations using the app within ambulance services. I want to highlight one case. It's a Swedish region, the Swedish region of Västmanland. They began using the app during the pandemic due to challenges that arose during that time. For one, interpreters were hard to find and are hard to find in some emergency situations. And during the pandemic, also further complicated the communications with masks and protective clothing. And therefore, it was really important to find an effective solution bridging these gaps. And after a successful trial phase, a license for Care to Translate was acquired, and the app helps facilitate communication in various languages, 45 languages, and has a very user-friendly design that also helps onboarding new team members really quickly. And for the Swedish region, the benefits are really clear. Care to Translate helps to gather important patient information, such as, for example, around allergies. And the app improves decision-making and supports optimized collaboration also with other medical departments, especially, of course, the emergency room. And together with Louise's presentation and the app demonstration, we hope to have given you insights into how simple this tool really is and how it can help you to improve how you can provide care to your patients that don't speak your language. And we hope that you think that you can give better care by having effective communication during these stressful situations. Also to be able to increase the comfort for patients when they are able to actually understand you and also feel understood. And of course, to be able to have maximum efficiency also by maintaining a direct and accurate communication. So do you agree? If yes, we would really like to, for one, get your comments here, your questions, your thoughts, but also talk to your colleagues, talk to your organization, and jump on a special deal where you can actually trial this app completely free of charge for 2 complete months. Yes, then I want to invite you to use the app we have actually a question here. How can you gather information from the patient? And how does the patient answer in the app? Yeah, really good questions. I'd like to maybe, if possible, to clarify, or maybe Louise, you understand, but how can you gather information from the patient? Are you asking how you can gather the information that you get out of the conversation, or is there any other information you're looking to answer or to gather? I'm not sure I'm completely understanding, but going to the follow-up question, how does the patient answer in the app? And that's a really good question. There are different kind of alternatives. First of all, we have built the app so the patient does not necessarily need to answer with verbal communication. The patient can answer by nodding or shaking their head or simply answering yes or no. Or body language, pointing, where do you feel pain? Please point. How many hours have you had this pain? Please show the number of hours with your fingers, and the patient can show. And also we have predefined answers also in the app that can be displayed to the patient if the patient is capable of clicking on the app and also can read well enough to understand. How exactly does this compare to Care to Translate? Not sure I'm understanding. Maybe the question is regarding Google Translate. Okay, Catherine, thank you for confirming. If the question is about Google Translate, let's I'm hoping I'm answering right now. So of course we use all the technologies that are available for handling translations efficient with text translations, but after having the machine in the process, we have human validators and proofreaders who actually help us to check the quality of the machine translation and then improve the translation. So it's as high of a quality as possible when it comes to many different aspects. For once, of course, the medical terminology. The next one is the context. A word can mean different things in different situations. And the third one is really important as well. It's the cultural aspect. You communicate differently in different cultures, different languages, and just a text-to-text translation might not always be a good one. So these are the perspectives we have when proofreading and optimizing to give you as a user the best possible quality to enhance safe communication with your patients.
And to add to that one as well, you mentioned safe here, and I think it's such an important thing to emphasize with Google Translate. You know, data is saved, right, on the cloud, but with Care to Translate, with our app, no information is saved on our platform nor the cloud, and that's important for patients' privacy.
And I will keep a look at to see if there's any more coming in the chat. You feel free to ask anything. For translation, Dict is better though than Google Translate. Of course, there are many different kinds of tools, but in general, it can be worth mentioning that everything that is generated by machines can have error margin. But of course, there are different types of solutions, and also the technology differs quite a lot. Are there any technical limitations when using the app? Well, the app can be used on iOS and Android, so all mobile devices, so there should not be any technical limitations. You have the option to use the app offline as well. So having a connection to internet is not mandatory to be able to use the app. I cannot come up with any technical limitation. I mean, of course, you need to have the hardware to be able to download and use the app. That's, I guess, the limitations that we don't offer the hardware. So if you have tablets in your ambulances, it should not be an issue. I don't know, Louise, if there's anything you're thinking of that we could add.
No, I think that's a very accurate response. Yeah, we haven't heard really any technical issues.
Okay, there is another one. Is it possible to personalize the app, gathering a selection of questions corresponding to our needs? And yes, so you can personalize from our entire library. You can gather them in the order you'd like to, as many lists as you like to, and of course you can come in and have input also in how we can make our library even better. If you have input in certain information that maybe you specifically need in certain situations, we can also extend the library and add new information to it. All right.
Excellent. Well, I'll move on to closing, and thank you all for these very, very good questions. We really appreciate that. So in closing, during the ambulance setting, getting an interpreter is not conducive, right? There is no time because this is an unplanned event. This is an emergency, hence the ambulance setting. So we need to help these patients, and Care to Translate has been proven to be amazing in this particular setting, where few to no options are available. And as Maya mentioned, please take advantage of our 2-month free trial to see how you like using this translation app for yourself and your department. And if we go on to the next slide, you can see here who to contact, myself or Maya, and our emails. And let us know if you're interested to try the app out. It's free. Why not? Try it out. You can compare it to what you used before, or if you don't have anything to compare it with because you had a challenge in this situation, perhaps Care to Translate is the answer. So we'd love to hear from you. And you can also download the app for free, as you see the QR code with your phone, and you can scan that code as well. But if you want to use it for your organization, a few of you try it out with your patients. That's when the trial for 2 months comes in place. And we hope to hear from all of you. So yeah, we appreciate you coming on, and we look forward to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.